takes 9 years to become an overnight success. I know majority of people are not willing to put in the 9 years. And the one thing I know through these 35 years in my life is consistency is the key to everything. When you have a vision, you have to have a conviction. Everybody has an individual greatness that they can attain. Every single person should build that kind of aura around themselves to, nah, don't even come to me with that. Affirmations are real, mindset is real. When you actually believe that, what you get out of that is something that you don't even foresee for yourself. When you actually control your mindset, when you actually have these affirmations.
Welcome back to the It Show. And today, as always, I'm joined by my co-host Edelio. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. I am really excited for today, dude. This man that we're about to have a conversation with, some might say is a mythical figure in Orlando real estate, right?
That's a lot to live up to.
Well,
But I think he does.
Yeah.
I believe he does. Now, this is somebody that I've known 7, 8 years now at this point. And he's accomplished a lot of things. You know, there's a few people that you meet in life where you're like, this person's gonna be somebody on a global scale, somebody that's recognized. And you don't always say that about somebody like who's in real estate, for example.
Yep.
But he's so much more than just a realtor. Right? He's an author. He's an inspire, somebody who inspires me. And I'm sure he's gonna drop a lot of his Deontay-isms.
for sure.
And I'm looking forward to it. So no further ado, we have the mythical creature, Diante Lawrence.
Hey, first and foremost, I've never heard that. That is good. That is good. High praise, you know, and we will deliver on that. So I'm ready to go. I'm happy to be here and appreciate the invite and love what you guys got going on. So let's make it happen.
Yeah,
Awesome.
man. So what I'm curious to know about is because you don't meet a lot of people like you, right? Who are, I don't know if I've ever seen you in a bad mood,
Right.
right? And I'm sure that doesn't mean bad things don't happen to you, but there's a choice where you're always choosing to just show up and be that ball of energy. Where does that come from?
That's a good question. I never noticed that until, you know, people start telling you how they see it. I was like, I'm just living my life. I believe it's one of those things when you're growing up that I tied it back to when I sat back and say, like, why don't I dwell in the experience of life long like some other people may? So, like, I think around third grade to like 5th grade, right? Because my parents are older. So my mom had me at 30. I think my dad was 35, right? So when you look at that, they actually have what I call real grandparents, right? So when I grew up, grandparents were 70, 80 years old. They were old people, right? Not 42, like we have, right? So with that comes death, right? So between 3rd and 5th grade, and it's something that I didn't realize I did, but you start to go to a bunch of funerals, right? So it almost like desensitizes you. What it did for me, it put stuff into perspective, right? So now things, how they formulate and calculate and come out in my brain is it, are you dead or are you alive? Everything in between, you're fine, right? So when things happen, it doesn't impact me for a long time. So why should I be sad or why should I be mad or have a bad day, right? And naturally, I don't like being around that type of energy anyways. So it's just accumulation of those things, which is why I quote unquote never have a bad day because of that perspective that I, you know, internalized over the past couple of years or assessed as to, you know what, why am I like that? So that's what I would tie it to if I had to give a definite answer.
Okay.
If you don't mind me asking, I want to know also, did you have to go through any sort of forks in the road as you were building this version of yourself? Like, did you have to find some extra gear, some extra strength along the way that reinforced this rather than making you choose something that would have compounded in a negative way?
Right. I don't think a lot, like, that's like a movie, right? The hero's journey or the arc, or people that we know something tragic happened, or they got to rock bottom. There is another film per se that doesn't get talked a lot, that people become greats. If you look at Kobe Bryant, right? Kobe Bryant, arguably one of the greatest players of all time. Kobe is the GOAT. For my people that want to argue, you can find me on social media and I'll let you know. All right. But look at his story, right? His dad was a professional basketball player. Both grew up in a relatively happy household, but he still had a drive for greatness, right? No huge traumatic that we know of situations, and that's kind of what I attest my life to. I grew up great upbringing, loving family, two-parent household. Majority of people around me are married, stable, and it's just a decision you see as a kid what you want, and once again through my calculator as a kid, I was like, okay, I want this. I want to be great at whatever I want to be, and this is what it takes. So this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
There was no trauma tied to that. It's just seeing the people in my life who achieved what they wanted to achieve, put in the work, and no excuses.
Yeah.
Right? Compounded on, once again, that family to where I was never constricted. So anything I wanted to do, I mean, my parents weren't rich, but they never. I remember one time, Dragon Ball Z used to be my favorite thing, right? And I was like, Mom, I want to be Goku, right? And she never said, no, you can't be Goku. She's like, all right, Diante, that's a lot of muscles. You know what I mean? This is when I'm like 8 or 10. But I think a accumulation of that and just the osmosis of seeing my environment is why and what's built me to who I am. Right? So nothing.
Speaking of Goku, when you were younger, because I know I did this. I don't know if now that we're talking about it, I'm sure you did it too. You would sit there, and powering up, and it's like squeeze it right there. It's
in PE, we used to get in trouble all the time. So it was either Dragon Ball Z. We used to get in trouble because we used to play fight Dragon Ball Z and WWF at the time, aka WWE. So those
Attitude
are the two.
Era?
Attitude Era, the DX. Yeah. So we were always getting in trouble, wrestling, jumping off of stuff, turning Super Saiyan. Yeah. So definitely turned Super Saiyan a couple times.
Yeah. Gold hair, everything.
Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Talking about Goku, it reminds me of something that my childhood, because I love Dragon Ball Z as well. And I remember when I started getting really into it, I started drawing Goku, and I was like Vegeta and Super Saiyan 3s. I needed to perfect my Super Saiyan 3 hair. So there's a booklet somewhere that has
find it.
iterations and everything. And something that was like super precious. It was part of like who I was becoming, right? I loved the whole story, the characters, the morals of the story. You know, you gotta keep getting stronger. There's always a stronger adversary. Let's go find it. And I saw all that, but my mother, I love her, God bless her soul. She was talking to some other friends of hers who were like, "Hey, did you know that's demonic?"
Oh,
Right,
dang.
do you remember the whole demonic
I do not.
panic?
I do not remember that.
Well, this happened in Latin America.
I remember that for Harry Potter. I remember that for Harry Potter when that came out. Yeah.
Because of the magic.
Yep. But not Dragon Ball Z. Dang.
Yeah. So with Dragon Ball Z, my mom got the bug from someone else. Somebody who she definitely doesn't speak to anymore.
Yes.
But she let this person influence her enough to come to me at the time when I was so invested and so in love with this craft, right? And developing my art. And she told me like, hey, you can't watch that anymore. You can't be drawing this stuff. She took away my things. And it wasn't until much later that I realized like that little moment shaped so much of the things that I allowed myself to feel, the self-worth that I had. I always kept trying to like prove myself. Like I gotta prove to my proverbial mom, right? With all the relationships that I ever had.
That's deep.
That I need this approval. I am worthy of this. It's not what you think. And no, like 3 years ago, we had a deep conversation where she goes like, never even thought
She never had it.
Never even thought that I did anything. And little does she know, it shaped a lot of my bad decisions. So that's crazy
Mhm.
that you're also like super into this.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's a testament to not just realtors, but just entrepreneurs in general. Conviction, right? There's so many exterior forces, especially if you've never seen it before,
Mm-hmm.
that people unknowingly will try to pull you down. And they don't, some people actually don't know they're doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And saying, hey, I'm trying to think of a actual experience that I experienced, but I don't allow that. So, right.
You sniff that out and you're like,
yeah,
get away
yeah.
from me.
But for instance, my children's book, right? Someone could have easily said, like, hey, boom, here we go. I got it. So I self-published my children's book, right? And I reached out to a few publishers, and a few majority of them were talking about, hey, first-time authors barely sell about 30 to 40 books, which may as well be a fact.
Right.
This is a publisher company; they know what they're talking about.
Right.
Me, I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't need you. You don't even see the vision. I'm gonna do it myself, right? So, my first year when I self-published, first 14 months, right? I sold 3,000 copies by myself,
Mm.
right? So I think, especially when you have a vision, you have to have a conviction, and those moments, it sucks for people that had those moments that they have to rebuild that. Um, because there's greatness. It sounds so corny, and that's why I pause when I say it, but it's so true. Like, everybody has an individual greatness that they can attain, but protecting that ignorance that you can be a New York Times bestseller. That's ignorance to majority of people until you do it. Then it's like,
Right.
oh my God, great job.
They
I
come
knew
out
you
the
could do it. You
woodworks.
know what I'm saying? And to hear that story, it's just like so many people have been impacted by that. And amplify that by social media. It's sad, right? Because the more we can temper and get rid of those exterior forces and create a aura to, I'm not even gonna go to Will with that. If Will says he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it, right? Majority of my friends and people that know me, they know if I'm saying something, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because I have a track record of doing it. But I think every single person should build that kind of aura around themselves to, don't even come to me with that. You know what I mean? So I think that's one of the secret sauces to success, period. The way you manage those exterior forces.
Your word is bond to yourself.
Yep.
You have a saying, I don't have to be better than you. I could be butchering it, but I believe it was, I don't have to be better than you. I just have to out-consistent you.
Oh, yeah. That's a long time. I be saying stuff, right? For real.
That's like Lil Wayne when you read his lyrics, he's like, oh, that's fire. It's like,
I did that. No, but like, I just be having thoughts and be like, boom, and I just crank it out, and I be
Tweet it.
forgetting people be saying that, but it's like, it was like, I will out consistent you. No one will out consistent me. It was something along those lines. It was like a Facebook post,
right.
and it's true, because I don't know if it's a 90s baby thing. I know part of it is there's a power in accomplishing things, right? It builds a belief. So seeing what I've accomplished and how I got there has created like a thread that is unshakable. And the one thing I know through these 35 years in my life is consistency is the key to everything, right? It takes 9 years to become an overnight success.
Right.
And I know majority of people are not willing to put in the 9 years.
Oh, not at all.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of one of my superpowers, especially when I believe in it. Are you telling me it takes 9 years to hit the goal and dream I have? That's it? That's all it's going to take? Let's do it. Yeah. Let's lock in. And it doesn't even it's not a task. Right. It just becomes routine.
It's so interesting because a lot of times there's a saying, it's like everybody they overestimate what they can do in a year, underestimate what they can do in a decade.
Yep.
But it's so true, man. It's so true because you see it time and time again. And like, let's take Kobe, since you brought him up earlier. And unfortunately, I never really appreciated Kobe
Were you an Iverson
until he
fan?
passed. Huh?
Were you an Iverson fan?
No, I didn't really watch much basketball.
Okay, got you.
I didn't start watching basketball until probably 2012.
Okay,
2000,
got you.
no,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Because I started watching it before LeBron went to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So that
the
was probably
golden years.
2009.
Yeah.
2009. Like, it was the year of after high school.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the year I started watching basketball was the year that the Magic went to.
Okay, yeah.
What
That's
year
when
was
Kobe, that's
was-
around 08, 09.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was the year I graduated
Yeah.
in 08. It was in that time period that I
Yeah.
started watching it. And it was just because, like, your Orlando Magic are playing. I'm like, I've been a Magic fan my whole life.
Yeah.
So, but, you know,
It's like, finally.
right. But, like, I never appreciated him until afterwards. And afterwards, I started listening to a lot of his interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God, there's so many good ones.
Yeah.
And they're so subtle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the thing with Kobe was, you know, you talk about that life when you're growing up. He's like, you know, people looked at him and thought he was soft because he's like, you know, he lived a cush life.
Yeah.
So the way that he would get the edge on everybody else is they would see him and be like, oh, he's outworking me.
Yeah.
We'd everybody go to lunch there at camp, and they're like, yo, this motherfucker is still shooting.
Yeah. Yeah.
They show up to the gym, he's icing his knees in full sweat because they already finished a workout before everybody else is starting. It's like, it doesn't matter your background at that point. It's just like, damn, he's doing more than me.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think for you specifically, like, I mean, on social media, you post every day that you're at the gym. And
I
like,
have to be there.
and I think that's really good because we get to see that, because you don't see, you know, unless you're in the NBA or you go to a gym, you don't see him.
Right. Right.
But one day we're gonna look back and say, yeah, that was Diante. He stay ready so he have to get me.
Right. Right.
Another Diante-ism.
Yeah, because you've had a six pack. Like, this sounds.
Pause.
No, but you have a six pack, right? He's like, actually it's an 8, right? But I say that because, bro, I fucking tried.
It's hard, right?
And like, I got like, when I get in real good shape, I got like a 4. Let's call it a 5. You know, you got the 4, then the bottom, the bottom layer,
2.5.
and it's hard to get there,
Mm-hmm.
to maintain it for this long.
Yeah.
With no real reason to. You're not competing in bodybuilding competitions. You're not a professional athlete. What drives you to just continue to do that? Because that requires more than anything other than the workouts. I think it's dietary more than anything. What keeps that?
That's a good question. I mean, one is just a part of my life. There's never been, like, growing up playing basketball, so you're always training, right? College, working out because I played basketball, right? So it just never stopped. So it is actually a lifestyle. Like, it's like a part of me. It's like a part of the day. Like, you go in and clock in and work, I have to go to the gym or I don't feel right. Like, some people that have to have coffee. That's my coffee. So that's one. 2 is completely vain, right? I always say I'm gonna have a 6-pack at least until I'm 70. So completely vain. I like to look in the mirror like, yeah, you know what I mean?
Who's that?
And it's a mental edge as well. For where I want to go. When I wake up at 4:30 and I'm at the gym, I know majority of the population is asleep, right? And I don't have enemies, but I create enemies, right? And I'm like, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm up. I did more than this quote unquote hater. Once again, I don't even know if I have haters, but I create haters in my brain, right? I know the hater wasn't up today. He didn't read 30 pages. He didn't go to the gym. He hasn't even already made his calls all the way up. And it's 10 a.m. already.
Yeah.
You know, I made 20 connections, 2-hour workout. I've read my 30 pages before Mr. Hater came up and commented. Once again, people, I don't have haters, bro, but this is just how my brain works. So that's just another part of it. And then finally, I would say bonus, just where I am at life and who I believe I was put on this earth to be an example, right? And I think with leadership, especially as a man, I don't care what anybody says, your respect level rises with your fitness level, right? Especially with leading men. Women respect it too. However, when you're leading a man, that man may have more money than you, right? That man may have more experience than you, but you'll notice people people will say some things to you like, "Hey, you looking good. You're in shape. What do you do?" Right? They'll listen to you a little bit more because internally they know, hey, he's doing something that one I'm not doing, right? But I know if he's willing to go to those lengths for himself, what is he going to be doing for our organization, my team, who I'm leading, right? So if you want to be a leader of men, right, a large organization globally, not only do you have to have the acumen to do it, but you also have to have the intangibles. And we're human beings. Whatever anyone says, they are looking at you first, right? And if they see you in shape, right, that's another confirmation within that person that, okay, I can trust this person's leadership, right?
Do you follow Andrew Tate at all?
Andrew Tate? Yeah, I've seen him. Yep.
So Andrew Tate says something that I think is funny, but it's like also true. He's like, you can have the best pitch in the world, you can have everything, but if I see you and you're fat, I won't do business with you.
Yep. I've seen that clip. Yep.
He's like, I just won't do business with you. He's like, because I know you're not disciplined enough to follow through. Like if you can't take care of your body, like your body can't be bought.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do surgeries to lose weight, and stuff, but like you can't get surgery to get the build and all that stuff. So yeah.
It's the only thing you can't automate.
That's facts.
That's the only thing that you can't automate. I remember talking about that in that little health class I was teaching. This is before I had a kid and I gained a couple pounds. But
hold on, what do you have to say about that?
Hey, listen.
I don't have kids. However, I don't envision that being an issue. Once again, my environment. Like a lot of my friends, they have kids and they still went to the gym. I am not married, so I don't have the. However, I do believe that when I have a kid, the standard will be set. I'm going to the gym. Right? Point blank, period. And I'm not sure everybody has that conversation up front. I understand the sleepless nights and things of that nature. But how am I going to perform the best for my family if I'm not performing the best for myself? So I always go back to that. One, I have, even though I don't have a kid, I have examples of my friends who have kids that didn't come up as an issue, right? Then I have my own philosophies, right? And then I just think you should suck it up and go. Right? I don't think there's I think you're doing a disservice to you and your family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
100%.
that's my thought.
That's why I was like, damn, like, you know that line, that Drake line is like, man, someone tell me I fell off. Where did I leave that? I was like, yeah, that's it. That's it right there. Where is it?
Yeah.
So we're on the comeback tour. But I want to talk about Black excellence. Because in your office, well, we're in a transitionary period.
Yeah.
But in your office, right behind you, you had Kobe right there. But you also had Denzel and Ali.
No, that was Mike Tyson.
That was Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Mike Tyson's back there. Yeah.
Add Ali in there. Just say it. But yeah, you had killers. Killers that are exceptional at what they did. But they're also Black. They're excellent. So I want to ask you, like, what does that mean to you, and how does that impact the way that you move and the way that you communicate and do things as an example, as a leader, showing up for the community, the Black community?
Yeah. We need a longer podcast for that. First off, I think a lot of people in this day and age, right? You have to do your research in regards to the Black community as a whole, right? From the slave ships to segregation to Jim Crow, there's a lot of stuff in there, right? That I think if majority of people read that, they would understand the standard that is told to you, especially as a young Black man, young Black boy growing up. So it starts there, knowing the history, which is dark, whether you like it or not. Like if you guys Google the Groveland Four, we'll start there. Google the Groveland Four, Groveland in Florida, right? And my grandma, one of the Groveland Four, that was her brother, right? So when you Google the Groveland Four and you see what happens, you're like, dang, right? Once you Google that, I want you guys to Google the Akoi massacre, right? A lot of people already know what happened in Black Wall Street. Google that as well. So those are all things, and I'm bringing this full circle. You asked about the mentality of Black excellence, etc. But when you Google that, right, those tragedies, and that's just 3 out of hundreds. There's literally hundreds of examples of that. If anybody were to see that, right, and understand that, any other culture, they'll be like, what? But coming up in the household that I came up in our community and that the people around me, it's always greatness. It's like when you grow up, you have to exceed expectation, right? It's non-negotiable. It's expected, right? So when you're growing up and you're being told, majority of my family is, I won't say majority of my families, but it's definitely a patriarchy, right? It's definitely led by men. You know what I'm saying? Which I know that's a buzzword, guys, but your patriarchy is actually not bad, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
let's bring them back, right?
There's different energies.
Yes. But who married men, who women are extremely powerful within our ecosystem. But being raised like that, right? Understanding at a young age that your example, right? It's just a standard that was raised, right? So when you're growing up in that and you're doing things, you're always cognizant that unfortunately you don't have a fair slate, right? So what you do, right, impacts all Black people, right? Whether that's fair or not.
Yeah.
Right? If you do something, well, see, I told you, right? This is how they are. You know what I'm saying? So that is I don't want to call it a weight because you're used to it, but it's a standard that you're trained to understand, that you don't have the grace that a lot of other people who don't look like you do.
Right.
So act accordingly. Right. So within that being raised, that's just how you're built. That's how you carry yourself. That's how you go about executing what you say you want to do, regardless of the field. So just seeing those people like Denzel, like you said, Kobe, Mike Tyson. I have Tyson up there for his tenaciousness. Like when Mike Tyson was Mike Tyson, undeniable.
Yeah.
Undeniable.
Terrifying.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you look at how he was brought up, Customato was one of his trainers. His first trainer. It was mental.
Yeah.
Mike was he was a student of the game, bro. Right? But being a student of the game and building that mentality that you're standing in front of my goal and your opposition, I'm gonna destroy you for trying to stop me from getting what I want to get. It's like, woo,
Fuck.
Mike was so, I'm gonna go on a tangent, y'all. But Mike was so intent, right? And dedicated, especially those Customato days. He used to study the psychology of conquerors. Have you heard this, Will?
No.
Mike Tyson used to study the psychology of conquerors, right? Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, right? Napoleon, right? Because you have to understand what type of mentality does a person have to say, I'm going to take your country, your people, and it's going to be mine. And my way of life is better than your way of life. Not only that, I'm going to impose my will on you, no pun intended, right? To make that happen. And he was just studying them. And that's why he was so dominant, right? So I respect him on that mentality side of things. Denzel Washington, a master.
Yeah.
A master of his craft. Undebatably the greatest, in my opinion. But what does it take for mastery? Denzel wasn't a superstar at 25, not even 35, if you hear his story, right? But that mastery, now he's the greatest of all time. And then, of course, you got Kobe, right? Who is celebrated. But at the time, no one liked Kobe, bro. No one liked Kobe. Because, like Will was saying, they would come to the gym or after the game, they're like, hey, Kobe, let's go out. Kobe's like, nah, I'm going to, wash up. I'm going to get some more shots in. Bro, it's our off day. What are you doing? Nah, I'm going to the gym. Hey, you want to hang? Nah.
No.
I'm going to watch some tape. On top of that, he's holding other people accountable. So automatically, that then becomes man, this guy's an a-hole. He don't want to hang, right? But the reason why, to bring it full circle to answer your question about Black excellence and things like that, you seek out those people subconsciously as you're growing up, right? With their different characteristics, right? Once again, it's another example of they can do it. Why can't I do it? These are my examples. I don't use heroes, but these are my examples. And those are three people that, exemplified not just Black excellence, but excellence within their field.
Right.
Mhm.
So let me ask you about these three examples. All right. I'm gonna shoot one at a time, and then you just whatever the first thing that pops into your head. Favorite quote from Mike Tyson.
I can't say it on here.
Oh, but you could.
Yeah.
Mike
We don't
Tyson,
censor.
I think it's the same quote that I have.
he has a tangent, right, where he's talking to he wants to eat somebody's heart.
It's the same one.
Yep. But he has a whole bunch of explicitives. But if you watch that full interview, you can see his brain click.
Yeah.
Because at first he's like, I broke my back. I'm hurt. All praise to Allah. And then in my mind, he's starting to think about the opponent. Like, this guy's tried to stand in front of my goal. And then he ramps up. He's like, I want to eat his babies. I want to eat his heart. Praise be to Allah. And he just watch that interview. It just gets you hyped every time. But yeah, that intensity, that like, he really thought about, this guy actually tried to stop me.
Yeah.
How dare he?
Yeah.
You know
How
what I mean?
dare you?
Yeah.
He did one. I saw an interview he did where he's talking to some guy, and it was like on 60 Minutes or something. And the guy asked him a question.
Oh fuck.
And then like he didn't pop off or nothing. This is like in his later years, but he still has that.
The tiger.
It's still in there.
Yeah.
Still, and he goes, "We need to end this interview now because you understand, right?"
Yeah.
And then he just gets up and walks out. The guy's like, "Okay," but like that was so like. If you're the guy interviewing, you're like, "Am I in danger?"
I would have pissed myself.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Favorite Denzel movie?
Man on Fire, actually.
Great one.
Man on Fire. Oh my God, man.
Is that Dakota Fanning too?
Yep.
Yeah.
She's a goat, bro. She's so underrated,
So
man.
underrated.
I love her, but yeah, Man on Fire. Training Day is number 2, but there's just the elements of Man on Fire. A man who was about to end it himself, right? And found meaning again. And that meaning was taken from him, right? And then not only that meaning was taken from him not believing that it's not over. There's no way I'm going to let this last hope that I found just end. I need to have a finality to this. And then finding out that finality was tied to someone that you thought cared and loved about not only this person, but you.
Yeah.
They were the one who betrayed.
Oh man.
And then vengeance,
What a story.
right?
Yeah.
What a
But
story.
also, there are ramifications for vengeance. And it just comes full circle. It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
It's beautiful. It should have got an Oscar too.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I will watch that anytime I see it.
Yeah.
Man on Fire.
Training Day. I got to put Training Day up there.
Training Day's there. Yeah.
Oh my God. You said it's your number 2. That's my number 1. John Q.
John Q was good
John
too.
Q was
I don't
so
have a
good.
son yet. I think when I have a son, that might go up in the
rankings.
Yeah.
But then as we're having this discussion, like there's so many.
Yeah.
Like
It's hard to choose.
this isn't like a fan favorite, but to me it's one of my favorites because I love mob shows like American Gangster.
Oh, American Gangster's a good one. Yeah,
that was also another good one.
Dang, I forgot about American Gangster.
American Gangster. For some reason, one that just kind of slips everybody's mind. But that was a good one. So we went Mike Tyson. All right. Favorite Kobe moment.
I was watching the game where Derek Fisher hit the .4 shot against the San Antonio Spurs. That was my favorite moment, man. Like I had my bunk bed and I was invested. I was a Kobe, like David and Boo Man. Y'all still owe me money for Kobe, okay?
How long ago was it?
$20. Compound interest.
2009. I will not forget. You owe me.
17 years later.
Now money still needs to be wired.
Yep.
Cash App, anything.
But that was my favorite Kobe moment. .4. Just a Derek Fisher shot. Just I'm yelling and screaming, "Dang, how did Tim Duncan do this?" You know what I mean? And then Fisher hit that. I'm screaming, and mind you, this is like 10:30, and I'm like 12 in my room screaming my brain out. Another moment just all around. Once again, my homeboy David. The Denver Nuggets were playing them in the finals, or the Western Conference Finals, and I knew they were going to beat them, but Denver had went up. So I'm walking. This is high school, so I'm walking in, and my homeboy is standing on a table, and he has Melo's jersey on, and he's like, Melo, Melo, and I think they went up like 2-1 or something like that in the series. So I was like, all right, bet. I ain't say anything, right? They won the next game, came to school, like nothing happened. They wanted to, they ended up closing out the series. Didn't say nothing to David, right? They won the finals. It was over. That was the best feeling at the time. You could post on people's Facebook page, right? So I took over his Facebook page.
You spammed them?
Yep. Kobe, 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 Kobe. My phone had a glitch in it, and I could type, and it would automatically send.
Oh,
So
snap.
I flooded his phone too. And his mom was trying to use the phone, and she was like, "Can you please tell Diante to stop?" And he's like, "Mom, I can't. He's not gonna stop." That was the most gratifying championship they ever won. You know what I mean? So that was a phenomenal Kobe moment as well. Shout out to my man David. But yes.
Yeah.
Send him his money.
Yeah.
So do you do this thing? You know, so a lot of people they'll do. Have you read The Alter Ego Effect? And
I have not.
This is a trend from
not.
these interviews that we do. But it's always a question because it's such a good book. But Kobe had the Black Mamba. You know, Beyonce had Sasha Fierce and all of those different dudes. Do you ever, like, in a moment, you're like, hey, here's my situation, here's the choices. What would Kobe do? Or do you do anything like that? Some people also say, you know, what would Jesus do? Like, do you have kind of an alter ego that you channel depending on the situation?
I've never used the word alter ego, but there's definitely like versions of Deontay for sure, like sitting in front of the camera, right? I'm natural in front of the camera because I've always been in front of the camera, but you know it's a different energy as well. So you're just turning up your slider, right? For that. When I'm sitting in front of a audience that I got to speak, we're turning up the slider. So I think that's a great question in regards to alter ego. I just never have categorized it as being an alter ego. It's just versions of me that I have to pull out. What I do is make sure I show up with all of me, right? Because once again, the standard, you never know. You never know, right? A podcast that I've done that had 12 views, one of the biggest clients came from, right? A book signing where only 10 people came, or a farmer's market where only 10 people came, turned out to become a 70 book order from one person that I've met, right? A simple conversation with a mom, her daughter, and her aunt turned into a family breakthrough. So being cognizant of that, that's what I click into to make sure I'm showing up right. But I've never said, hey, this is Jerome. Right? You know what I mean?
I got one, his name is Tyrone.
So, but yes, yeah. Definitely make sure I'm tapping into the right version of me, and that slider's all the way up, so I can make sure I deliver.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you do affirmations?
Yeah, for sure, bro. I have voice memo. I have it on my wall, so I listen, read, and then it's just my inner voice is a affirmation, right? When you want to slack off, it's just there.
Right.
It's like, stop being a you. You know what? You know what I mean? Like, lock in. You built for it. You know what I mean?
It's just David Goggins.
They're always there. It's just
So
there.
for the audience, we talked about it earlier today, but I'm gonna share the story because it was so Deontay, right? Like, we were at a potluck probably 2 years ago now, and somebody calls on Deontay. They're just like, hey, does anybody want to do a shout out or a blessing or something like that? And then, you know, nobody's saying anything. And then Mike's like, Deontay. And then Deontay was sitting next to me, and he's like, huh? And he was like texting somebody. He's like, huh? And he's like, oh, you got to do a blessing. He's like, I'm built for this. And then he stood up and then just delivered. And
Which
I was like,
don't remember, bro. Which
it was
is
the
hilarious.
funniest thing. Because it was, if you said it internally, that's one thing. But the fact that you said it out loud, I was like, makes sense.
This is automatic.
it out.
Just flip the switch. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I mean, it's real. I do not like. Let me use my words correctly. Affirmations are real. Mindset is real. I'm not a fan of what it's turned into in regards to its weight. Its weight in the sense of when somebody says your mindset, right? When somebody says affirmation, I feel like there's so much empty calories put out there that people don't understand how powerful that is when someone's telling you affirmations, mindset. You know what I mean? Because people think it's mumbo jumbo, da 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 da. You could do anything, la 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 la. But when you actually believe that, what you get out of that is something that you don't even foresee for yourself. When you actually control your mindset, when you actually have these affirmations, when you're playing your voice memo every single morning to hear your affirmations in your own voice, it just becomes a part of you, and then you become who people are like, oh my God, you're a mythical creature. And I'm like, I'm just living another day. I didn't see anything, right? So I think it's I would like more weight, more power, more understanding on what mindset is, what the power of affirmations and actions, daily actions, consistent actions, what that would do for a person, regardless of, whether we're in real estate, whether we're a host on a podcast, whether we're a mother or a father. It's just get lost and try it. That's all I would say. Just get lost and try it for 30 days, right? And if it doesn't work for 30 days, Diante doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, if you put 30 days into it, you become addicted to it.
Yeah. We're talking about affirmations?
Affirmations and mindset, like controlling what's coming in, right? Hey, I want to make sure that I'm the best realtor there is, and I know I need to make 20 conversations a day, right? Your mindset for the next 30 days is I am a person who makes 20 conversations a day. 20 a day. You do that for 30 days, one, you figure out, oh, this isn't that hard. Two, you start to get the tangible rewards. And three, you're saying, dang, if I only did 20 conversations a day, what happens when I do 30? What happens when I do 40?
Right.
And then magically, 5 years later, oh, you're all over these magazines and all this stuff because you changed your mindset. Because you did those actionable affirmations.
Right.
I look at it like in terms of like the new generation, ever since like all these LLMs, ChatGPT and Claude came out, I look at it as like, oh, our brain, our mind is just a giant, the original LLM. Right? We talk to our ChatGPT or our preferred whatever you use. We talk to it so it knows us. It knows what we're about. And the more we talk to it, the more it just reflects back who we are.
Yeah.
If we don't take care of our own LLM and we let anybody put their own shit, my mother, right? They just let anybody put whatever in there. And that's just part of you now. Whether you want it or not, it penetrated. You let it, like you said. So now you have to go scrub. And no one likes to scrub.
It's real.
It's dirty work.
It's
dirty work. So that's the way I look at it now. Is what's in my LLM, my big database, and if there's anything out there that I don't like, get it the fuck out.
Right. And it's hard too, because the get the fuck out is that's somebody's that you grew up with for 13 years. I don't think people talk about that a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah, it sounds great, but this person has been with me through my lowest, and now I got to separate from them. That's tough.
That's a tough,
right? This
tough one.
helped raise me, but where I want to go and who this person is, I can't bring you along for the ride. And there's going to be venom in that too. So it's not one-sided. It's not like, bruh, I'm sorry, we gotta go. Bro, you changed. Like, I knew this was going to happen to you once you got a little bit success. Like, those conversations, those comments, then they're telling people around you too.
Right.
And then you're worried about, dang, how do I look around?
Right.
And now you have all these other things. So it is tough, right? But it's necessary. especially when you're grabbing what you were predestined to be. I believe everybody has something that they were put on this earth that no one else can provide. And when you fully realize that, the person that you have to become is someone who's special, right? But it's going to take a lot.
On that note, what do you think you were put on this earth to do?
Definitely be an example, right? I fully envision like when I grew up, which is why I have the Tate series, 8 books. We're gonna turn in TV shows, movies, merchandise. The ultimate goal is it's going to be, you know how there's Dr. Seuss. I don't know if is Dr. Seuss still. It's always been like, hey, I remember Dr. Seuss was the children's book of the age, right? What is that book now?
The Hungry Caterpillars?
I don't know. I
I
couldn't
couldn't tell you.
Okay.
Dr. Seuss like went through a whole cancellation. He was
Yeah, but
getting
before the
yelled,
cancellation,
recorded.
Dr. Seuss was the
He was
standard.
that guy.
Yeah.
The gold
So
standard.
that's what I imagine Tate being, right? But overall, just be an example to like, hey, how did you do that? Like, how did you become a New York Times bestseller, Grammys, Emmys, Oscars, all of that, right?
EGOT.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're getting that.
Come
We're getting
on,
that.
man.
To be an example, to sit down and say, hey, this is how I did it. These are the people that I know. For you to do it, this is the environment to create it. I think this so I love being able to pour into the people that want to receive it.
Yeah.
I'm growing in regards to the people who aren't ready to receive it, right? But the people who are ready to receive it is so addicting to be able to just give them a olive branch and say, just do this.
Yeah.
And see 10 months later, then come back to you and be like, bruh, we'll use monetary. There's a few realtors that I've had like 2 conversations with. 10 months later, they added $150,000 to their bank account, like real money.
Yep.
And there was nothing profound. It was just sharing what I did. There's been like Deontay-isms that I've told a person, and they're like, you remember you told me this 3 years ago, and now I'm doing this? I was like, bruh, I have no idea I told you that. But that impact is what I believe that I was put on this earth for. And I've always, even as a kid, I've always had adults come to me for counsel. And looking back at it, I was like, damn, this is weird. You're supposed to be educating me. But embracing it, I realized that it is something, a skill set, an aura, of vibration that I have to fully realize, because I believe it's I'm a spark to some people's futures. And if I don't become who I'm supposed to be, they won't reach their full potential.
Wow.
So that's a lot of leverage you have on yourself to make sure you show up every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe it.
Yeah. No, that's good. It's funny you say like it was nothing profound, but clearly it was. Right.
Yeah, to me, when I say it, I was just like,
right.
yeah,
It's what's profound is determined by the receiver of the
yes,
information.
exactly.
Exactly. Gil did this for me years ago. He doesn't even remember the conversation, but I remember we're at a bar and we did some big event or whatever, and everybody's filtering out. So just me and Gil left, and we're paying the tab or what have you. And at this point, Lorena, his wife, was still an attorney at law. So, he had 6 kids. He just had 2 kids, and I'm like, this guy seems to like have it all. And he almost, outside of this event, like he never answered his phone after 4:30.
Yeah.
That was his thing,
that.
right?
Yeah.
So he would never answer his phone after 4:30. He has what appears to be balance. He has finance. He has the family. He has all of the things. So I asked him, I'm like, hey man, like, how do you do it? He's like, I don't understand what you're asking me. Like, well, you have it all. Like, how do you do this? And he's like, well, tell me more. It's funny because now he does his trainings, and he always just tell me more. What's next? What else? Gillism me. But then I'm like, well, I mean, like you do these things, and my problem I had at that point in time was if I'm getting a call at dinner at 7:30 at night, and let's say it was you calling me for, hey, you need to do this pre-approval right now, I'd be like, well, I got to take this call. Hold on, babe. Like I got to step away from dinner, take the call. And he's like, well, just don't take the call. I'm like, but these are your agents. Yeah. You're always saying like how important it is for time, right? And I was like, well, but these are your agents. Like, what happens if I don't pick up the phone? Like, they're probably going to go somewhere else. He's like, they will. But if they wait for you, they know what they get.
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't even remember this conversation.
Yeah.
Remember when he heard that, I was
powerful,
like,
yeah.
oh, shit,
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then the question then became not like, hey, I don't have to always be available. I just need people to understand what they get if they wait. And then it just became a conversation of, at least in my mind, how can I communicate and demonstrate my value so people are willing to wait?
Yes. 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 I think every realtor should also take that, right? Because especially if you're newer, even veteran realtors are always picking up your phone, right? It's not that serious, right? Just look at Facebook. How many of us want to pick up the phone and talk to a Facebook rep? Right? You can't do it.
Right.
You can't do it. You gotta type it out, right? You can't call the Facebook CEO, right? Majority of people, when they have that urgency, they'll be okay. They'll be okay. The bank is closed at 8 p.m. So what are we really gonna do? It could wait. You know what I mean? And I do wish more realtors did that because I think it would improve their quality of life. And when you set that boundary and that standard with your clients, which I do myself, I have had pushback on one person. I've been in real estate 10 years. I've had pushback on one person that did not like that I didn't respond on Sundays. And they did leave. And it's like, do I really want to be with the person that I'm working for them 6 days out of the week and one day they're going to have the issue? No, I don't want to work with that person. So the more you understand that as a realtor, a business owner, I think the more freeing it is. And like you said, when now you show up, they're getting all of you. Because I bet even when you were on the phone at 7:30, in the back of your mind is like, dang, I just had to leave my family on the phone. Yeah, tell me what this pre-approval is. You have a little bit of animosity because they're pulling you away from the family. And then you know that, dang, my wife is going to feel away. So your energies aren't there. Right. So you're able to provide that maximum value at your actual 9 to 6:30 or whatever boundary you have. And I believe people, they feel that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's good that Gil told you that. And you abide by that now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's powerful. It's powerful, those boundaries being set and the expectations being set. That's the majority of issues that people have in the lending side and on the realtor side. Is the expectation wasn't set up front.
Favorite Pokemon?
That's a good one.
Who? A Lugia.
Oh,
He is good.
Yeah.
That was second generation.
Yep. Pokemon
Lugia
Silver,
was good.
baby.
I did like Entei. I liked Entei. He's third generation.
Entei, yeah, he's like a more gangster.
Yeah. I like Entei. I like Mewtwo because I watched the movie. That Mewtwo. Ooh, talk about
the
let's
second
talk
movie.
about those '90s cartoon movies, bro.
Let's talk about
Yeah, that was a good. That was Lion King is my top movie. If y'all don't know.
Yeah.
But that Pokemon movie, it had all the tropes. But I'm a classic Charizard guy. He has the attitude. He has the strength.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He shows up.
He shows up. You know what I mean? I like Zapdos, but if you had gun to the head, I would choose Charizard.
Good pick.
You are a shiny Charizard.
First edition. actually.
Bro, one of my regrets. You know how people say they don't have regrets? I have regrets, right?
Okay.
So I learned a formative time in my life.
Yes.
You know the quote, ask for forgiveness, not permission?
Mm-hmm.
I learned that at an early age. This kid who lived across the street from me, German dude, right? I think I'm like 8 years old. And I had allowance, right? So I had my own money growing up. So we were heavy in Pokemon cards and stuff like that. I still have it in my binder and stuff like that. And he had a Charizard. And he was selling his Charizard for $20.
Oh.
He was selling his Charizard for $20.
Yeah.
For you guys who do not know, Google Charizard and how much it's going for right now.
Shit.
Like first generation Charizards. Anyways, so I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna buy it for $20. So I'm going in the house, and at the time, 90s babies don't come in and out of the house. You're either in or you're out.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm coming in the house at the middle of the day. My mom was like, hey, what's going on? It's like, oh, I'm just about to go get $20 because I'm gonna go buy a Charizard off of Alex. And she's like, no, you're not. You're not gonna buy a $20 card from him. And more of a story, I didn't buy the Charizard. And it was one of my biggest regrets ever.
Right.
I wish I would have just went out there. I wish I would have lied to my mom. I wish I would have lied to my mom and bought that Charizard, bro.
Yeah.
And that's one of my.
She would have been okay.
Yeah, she would have been okay.
Logan Paul just bought a Charizard, didn't he?
Yeah, he wears
guess
it
a few
around his
years
neck
ago.
when he has
How
an
much
event.
was it?
I want to say he spent 400,000 to 500,000 on it, something like that. Because
Like, I'm not gonna say that was the Charizard.
No, it wasn't. But the Charizard.
But it could have been the Charizard.
Timeline. It's like thanks.
A lot could happen.
You know. Yep. So that was a regret. But
Insult to injury.
I don't know how we got on that topic. Oh, Charizard, favorite
Yes.
Pokemon. Yes.
Yeah.
See, it's still living in
It's in there. Hasn't left.
That was a formative years. What's up with moms?
Yeah.
What's going on with y'all?
You guys are tripping, man. I thought you loved me.
Yeah.
All right.
funny.
So we're cutting close on time. Now this show is for independent thinkers, right? And it wouldn't be a show about independent thinking if we didn't hold the ability to look at things objectively and even change our perspective on things.
Okay.
Or even our beliefs.
Uh-huh.
What's one thing that you believed 5 years ago
What's one thing
that
that
you no longer believe today?
Ooh. They didn't prep me for this question. So let me see. That is a great question. What is one thing that I believed 5 years ago that I do not believe now? This is good, Will.
That's why I did it.
This is good. This is good.
That's what I'm saying.
Allow me to continue, and I'm talking right now, so we don't have no
dead air.
Yeah, no dead air.
You're good.
And I'm just going through my life 2020. I've been in real estate like 10 years. First 3 years was wholesaling. This is it. People, this sounds cliche, but specifically to real estate. People, right, who don't listen to you, Diante, right, in regards to commitment and consistency still can be successful. I used to believe if you weren't willing to make necessary changes and be militant in what you're doing, that you cannot be successful, that you did not want it enough. My belief changed in the sense that I was prescribing the wrong medicine. It wasn't that they weren't able to, and once again, my belief got in the way of actually peeling back what they needed at the time. So my belief was, okay, you just don't want it. You don't want to make 150 calls a day. You don't want it. So get out of my face. Like, don't talk to me. Don't come back to me. But what that person really needed wasn't real estate related. It was more so life related. But I never took the time to dig deeper, right? So now when someone doesn't do what they initially come to me for, I don't just napalm and you're out of my life. I have a conversation like, hey, we sat down here and we went through these things. You didn't do them. I know what you share with me. This is why. But obviously there's something going on. Let's be real. Break down to me what's going on in your life, right? And that has helped me tremendously in regards to a leader, to someone that it takes a lot for just a human being to ask for help. So who are you to just leave them to die? You know what I mean? So 5 years ago, I was that person. You come to me, I'm looking at it black and white. You want help? I know how to get there, do this, or you don't want it. Now it's more so, come, you didn't do it. Let's sit down and see why you didn't do it, how we can help and actually prescribe the right medicine to what you actually need, right? Real estate or your business may not be actually what we need to talk about right now. You know what I mean? Now, that grace is only going to go so far, Will.
Right.
Right? At the end of the day, that's still in me, right? You're not going to come back to me 6, 7 times talking about the same thing. Obviously, you just want to be where you are. So I'm going to be real with you. There's a limit to this grace, guys, right? But I definitely have grown in the sense that I just don't cut people off when they don't do what I tell them to do or prescribe them to do.
Are you a student of John Maxwell?
John Maxwell, I wouldn't say a student. I like a lot of his stuff. Right now, I'm heavy on Alex Hormozy. I'm heavy on Gary Vee. There's a dude named Chris. He has a YouTube series called The Future as well. But why do you ask? With
Well,
leadership?
Well, because of
Yeah.
what you said, there's a principle that he teaches that's so good. And what he says is you can't lead someone until you find them.
Ooh. That was loud, but that's good. That's good. Say that one more time.
You can't lead someone until you find them. And that's literally what you just described.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. That's powerful, bro. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Dang, Will. I needed that. Okay.
Damn. Like Maxwell hits.
Yeah.
Strikes again.
Well, Maxwell,
I love him, bro. Well,
Oh, my
pause.
goodness.
But he's good. He's a great.
dude, you know how many books
You're-
he's written?
Like 100?
Close.
Dang.
When the last book I read from him was Leader Shift, and it was like book 72.
Dang.
It's ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
But he writes, he's constant, he talks about leadership it's never ending.
Yes.
So he's always just writing his thoughts
Yeah.
nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
So he puts out 2 books a year.
Yeah.
Leader Shift was, I want to say right before COVID or right after
Wow.
COVID. It was so good.
Yeah.
though. So
Yeah.
good.
I'm gonna add that.
Yeah.
Leadership.
Leader Shift.
Oof. That was a quote right there. That's a bar.
The whole
We need to
bar.
vertical that.
Yeah, it would do. So for people that want to get in contact with you, they want your mentorship, they want to maybe buy a house with you, anything of that nature. Maybe they want to buy your book. Where can they find you? Where can they connect with you?
Type in Diante Lawrence, Diante Lawrence, in Instagram and Facebook, and you will find me.
Awesome. Thank you for your time, Aaron.
Of course, I appreciate it. Loved it. Mythical Creature out.